What's up, squeegee slingers and water-fed pole wiggling wagglers, and welcome back to the Tradman YouTube channel. Today we're continuing the Build a Window Cleaning Business series, and today's topic is actually going to be about flyers, leaflets, all that kind of stuff, and door-to-door canvassing. Stay tuned. Okay then folks, so the first thing we're going to be discussing is flyers. Now, should you use them? Are they effective? Is it worth putting in the time and the effort to design one, or getting somebody to design it for you? Now, a lot of people can be put off designing a flyer, perhaps because they don't have much in the sort of background of doing any kind of design work, or they just don't know where to start. It can be quite a daunting thing, sitting there with a blank canvas thinking, how can I make this possibly look good? A good place to start, I would personally say, if you're thinking about designing your own flyers, is start by getting some inspiration, whether that's by asking fellow window cleaners on things like Facebook groups to show you some of their flyers to give you some ideas, or perhaps even just going on to Google and typing in that good old search engine, flyers, and just getting some ideas, just something that you can play around with to design your own flyer the way you like it. Personally, I've found that once you get started designing something, those creative juices, as they're called, start flowing, and soon enough you end up with something that you actually quite like and you didn't maybe perhaps think that you were capable of making. A top tip for you guys is when you're designing these flyers, try not to overcrowd it, make it too complicated. Have your lettering and all your words spaced out nicely. Same with images. Don't have them all sort of compacted close together where you can hardly see what's going on. Make it nice and eye-catching, some nice colours that go well together. Have a play around with it and see what best suits you, and even go with your own company colours. It all looks nice when you can match up your flyers with perhaps your company logo and things like that. So if you are going to go down the road of designing your own flyer, how do you do it? Well, I can tell you what I personally did. I use a service called Vistaprint, which many people quite often will use. There are various other ones as well. This isn't some sort of paid promotion for them. That's just the one personally I've used in the past. It's got nice, easy canvas and tools that you can use to design your own flyers, and I found that very effective. Vistaprint also have their own little templates and things that you can use, so if for any reason you're struggling to come up with images and things like that, you can use some of the pre-designed ones on their website. Now, one thing that sometimes puts people off is they're uncertain as to how much flyers are going to cost, but you'll be glad to know it's actually surprisingly quite cheap. You can get a deal like 1,000 flyers for something around £20. Now, they're quite, like we've said, quite easy to design them, and they're relatively quite cheap, so why not? But then you actually have to find a way of actually distributing them, don't we? Now, the cheapest way to go around this, especially if you're just starting up your business, is to go obviously yourself and go from door to door and have a very nice, simple presentation. And I've always found as well that having some equipment with you can also be a really good influencing factor in getting customers or not. So having a nice flyer, and then I found having my traditional equipment on my hip as well, it means when people come to the door, you've got your nice professional flyer at the ready. You've also maybe perhaps got a uniform, maybe not, just dress smartly, and then have your tools on as well. People instantly know why you're at their door, and they're a bit more relaxed. They know you're not trying to sell them something else. They know exactly who you are when you get there. So there's a little top tip for you as well, is to keep the price down, you go yourself. Now, if you've got a bit of money and you want to pay a company to do the canvassing for you, just be prepared that obviously the work that you may get from that might not always be the kind of work you want. The best way personally I've found is to go and do it yourself. That way you can cherry pick the work that you want, especially if it works maybe awkward to do or even perhaps dangerous to do. At least you're there in person to have a look at those jobs and decide whether you want that customer or not. Okay, so you've got your flyer, you've maybe got your gear on as well to maybe show off a little bit what you can do. What about your presentation? What are you going to say? Well, keep it short and simple, and always, a big thing I would always say is look happy. I know going door to door telling people about your service is gonna get old fast. Try to keep your spirits high as you go around. I know it's going to get a bit demoralizing, especially if you've got quite a lot of no's during the day, but try and keep the optimism smiling at all times. There's nothing worse than someone coming to your door and they look miserable. So that would be my next top tip, is look happy when you're going around, look inviting. So when they open the door, they've got a nice, friendly and cheery character at their door for a start. Okay, so the door opens, smiles are ablazing, what do you say? So the presentation wise, when you're actually talking to potential customers, personally I would say just keep it short and sweet. Don't be sort of over pushy with your presentation. Be genuine. Just say to them that, you know, you're a local window cleaner, you're looking to build your business or provide a service in that area. Perhaps you already clean customers within the area as well, so you could maybe use that in your presentation. So something along the lines of, hello, I'm so-and-so, I'm just in the area checking with yourselves if you require a window cleaning service. You know, I clean your neighbors next door as well, if you do, obviously. And yeah, would you like your windows done? I can also provide a demonstration if you like. I've got my tools with me today. So if you'd like a quick demonstration on a window, I can show you a before and after kind of idea and see if that's something that fits you. So by keeping your presentation just nice and friendly and genuine, I've always found that works really, really well. When you're standing at the door as well, have your flyer so that they can see it. Don't have it obviously facing towards you or upside down, that's no good. I always find I have it ready kind of facing towards them when I knock the door. So when they open the door, I've always seen this, people will actually kind of start at the top and then look down to see what you have, you know, so they have a look at your face, you know, and if you've got a nice smiley face, then it's all good. They're like, oh, okay, that ticks a box. He looks friendly enough. And then they'll look down, what are you selling? You know, so they'll look down, and if you've got a nice, clear, well laid out flyer as well, they'll be able to be at ease as quickly as possible that you are a window cleaning service and not something else that they're wanting off of their door as quickly as possible. Okay, so you've given them your presentation. Now, whether it goes positive or negative, personally, I always like to leave them with a flyer anyway. Now, this is always a bit of a tricky one. Sometimes people will say, well, I've already got a window cleaner. Personally, this is my own opinion. I like to just say, okay, and I'll leave you with the flyer, and should you ever need in the future for any reason, then at least you've got another option. That way, I'm not trying to tread on anyone's toes, I'm not trying to take work off of anyone, but for any reason, should their current window cleaner decide to stop, or for any other reason, they've got your contact details at the ready, and this has actually happened to me quite a few times, where people have had their window cleaner disappear and they've actually kept my flyer. So you never know, you might not get that customer today, but you might get it in a few months' time, or even I've had customers a couple of years down the line who actually kept my flyer from many moons ago. So it's always something to bear in mind, is leave your flyer with them, is if they're going to let you. Obviously, if they give it back to you, then they really don't want it, but try and leave your flyer with them if possible. Now, for any reason, designing your own leaflets is just a bit of a no-go for yourself. You can actually obviously hire people to do it for you. A good website to check out is Fiverr. We'll leave that in the description below for you as well, where you can pay freelance people to design one for you. That's quite a good website, and it keeps the cost down as well. It's not too overpriced on there. So today we've been talking about canvassing, folks. Hopefully that has helped you in some way. It's quite a large topic to discuss. So if you've got any questions at all, please pop them in the comments box below. Also, for those of you that have had a business for a while, leave your hints and tips in the comments box below for everyone to see what you found worked when you're canvassing, especially something to do with leaflets or even designing them. Anything, any little gems of information that you have, feel free to leave them in the comments box below. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. And in the next video, folks, we're going to be talking about add-on services. So you don't have to just do window cleaning, you can advertise for other things as well. So stay tuned for the next video in the Build a Window Cleaning Business series, and I'll see you next time. You take care, be good, and bye for now.